Hello there, it's Erin. Welcome back to another video, and instead of just a monthly bullet journal setup, which is what I tend to do quite a bit on this channel, today I wanted to show you something a little bit more specific, a little less month specific. This is my plant tracker. I guess you could call it like a plant collection also, that kind of thing. Mine is mostly tailored toward these little seedlings. These are, if you're in Australia, you might recognize these. This is my Woolworths Discovery Garden, which is a program where the local supermarket gives you these little seedlings. They come with like a little compostable cardboard container and some seeds and a little disc of that like dehydrated peat moss stuff, and you can just grow all sorts of stuff. They've got flowers and herbs and vegetables, and so these are the ones that I have ended up with, and I'm stupidly excited about them. I'm not usually a plant kind of person. I have a few houseplants around my house. I have some cat grass for my kitty, but this is the first time I've ever grown anything from seeds, and I didn't really know what they were supposed to look like when they grew up, so I thought it might be a good idea to put together some kind of tracker so I knew how to look after all of these different things. And the Woolworths website had some information on how to do all that stuff, but there's also, other sources of information about plants out there and apps and stuff. So I jumped onto Google and I found some pictures to represent each of the fully grown versions of my little seedlings, because I had no idea what anything was supposed to be. Here's my very wonderful helper Mitsu coming to make sure that my plant tracker is all in order. I dumped them into a Word document so I could make sure they were all the same size, and I printed them out and cut them into little squares like this. I actually ended up trimming down the squares a little bit further than I originally planned, so maybe try to keep in mind how big you need them to be in your book. It's really hard to gauge how big things are going to print, and I allocated each one of them a little space so that I'll have 4 to a page, and I'm going to be sticking those pictures in so that I can use them as a reference for what my plants are going to look like when they're all grown up and big and strong, and hopefully I haven't killed them by that stage, because I don't have the best track record with plants. I don't also have the worst track record with plants. I can keep some things alive and not others, so we'll see how we go. Hopefully I don't forget about anything. This is just how I'm putting together my plant tracker. I have also made this available as a printable in case you would like to do something similar. I've made that a little bit less. These are from seeds, and a little bit more vaguely, these are my plants. Sorry about the little jump there. I did accidentally not notice when my camera stopped recording. Because I'm going to be sticking photos in, I thought it would be a good idea to alternate the side that the picture goes on so that things don't end up too kind of heavy on one side of the page. I'm using 2 different greens to highlight some little heading sections next to each of these boxes. I'm adding 5 little sections here. This is the packaging for the Discovery Garden. So it comes with a little pop-out perforated bit of cardboard that you can stick in the plant so you remember what you're planting and you can write the date on it and stuff. I was lazy and I didn't write the date, but I'm writing it in the book. Okay, so my sections here are for name, type, the date I planted it, the date I'm going to be repotting it, and some notes about each little planty, because I'm going to need those to know how to look after it, whether it likes sun, whether it prefers the shade, how often I need to water it, what its kind of pests are that I need to look out for. And I've kind of gone through and organized each of these by the type. So this first one here, this is a dianthus. I hope I'm going to pronounce all of the things correctly. Please let me know if I say anything incorrectly. I've got a phacelia, which is also a flower. This first page is just flowers. And before I get to this last one, I completely forgot to print a picture for my cornflower, which doesn't make any sense because I had a spreadsheet with all the information that I needed to then transfer onto these spreads. And the cornflower was on there, so I have no excuse for forgetting its photo, but you'll notice in the pictures on my Instagram after this as well that that's just not going to be there because I haven't gotten around to printing it out and sticking it in the book yet. So I'm just referencing my spreadsheet that I made based on the info that was on the Woolworths website. You can reference wherever you would like to for the kind of plants that you have. And I'm going to do exactly the same thing again on this other page. So I've been enjoying Bortis lately. I like the look of a nice kind of cohesive bordered page. The way mine ended up, I think my pictures were 6 boxes by 6 boxes. I printed them out, they were too big, and then I worked out what 6 by 6 boxes would be on each picture, and I just cut it out to like the central part of the picture down from the bigger size. I'm using a Tombow dual tip brush pen on the knot brush end for my plant tracker header. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know this is one of my favorite lettering pens, and it's not kind of the traditional way that people like to letter with them, but it's how I like to do it. And then I'm alternating my colors again here. I've got one green Tombow and the other one is a Faber-Castell Pitt Artist brush pen, which are some of my favorite brush pens. They're just a little bit firmer than the Tombows. and I find that makes them a little bit easier to control. So on this side, I've got bunching onion, I've got some carrots, I've got some perpetual spinach, and some mixed lettuce leaves. And I'm really excited about these ones because hopefully this means I don't have to buy any of this stuff for quite some time. How about you? Are you a plant person? I know a lot of people, particularly in my generation, are very much plant people now. I don't know if it's because people in my age group, I am a 33-year-old millennial woman, are kind of nesting, buying houses and making their rental places really nice. I do have a few plants besides the ones that I'm tracking in here. I have a couple of the really basic ones, you know, like I've got a devil's ivy, I've got an arrowhead. They're doing okay, but they're the kind of plants that are really hard to kill, so that's always nice. It's a good place to start. I recommend that. Things that can grow from cuttings are great too, because then if you want to have more plants, you can just make them from your own plants, and I love that. This next page is going to be herbs, so I'm just going to speed this up a little bit faster than the other pages because you've already seen me set up 2 of them, so you don't need to see me do it really slowly again. And my goodness, am I glad I've got this reference, because I wouldn't know which was which if I hadn't written the name of each herb on the back. I am not the most botanically minded person. So I've got lemon balm, I've got sage, I'm adding parsley in here, which is not one of my Woolworths plants that I'm growing from seeds. I've had a parsley plant that's going pretty well for the past couple of years, and I just thought it would make sense to have it on here because I would have other herbs. And I did plan to add an extra page, and I've done that since filming this. In between filming and recording this voiceover, I've gone through and added my other plants onto the last page. So I've got 4 pages of plants that I am now keeping tabs on in my journal, which is a bit cute. I've enjoyed setting this up. One thing I wanted to mention, this is a very minimal plant tracker. Obviously, it's just headings, dates. The pictures kind of are a lot on their own, so I didn't want to go too crazy with decoration. But if you wanted to, you could absolutely, around these borders, go in there with some little plant doodles. Things like what I did in my April bullet journal setup would work really, really well here, where they're just simple leaves, simple little flowers, little grass type things, stuff like that I think would work really, really well in the margins. You could space them out if you wanted to keep it really minimal. You could have them packed in tight if you wanted to make it a little bit more of a maximal spread. Not really much of a flip through considering it's only 3 pages, but here's a little look from the top down, flip through style of my plant tracker, all filled in, all ready to go. I'll be repotting my planties soon, so if you'd like an update on those, please do let me know down below. I hope you've enjoyed setting up this little plant tracker with me, just something cute and quick. Don't forget to find me on social media if you'd like to see a little bit more detail on these spreads. I'll pop some photos up on my Instagram at erinsmith.art. And please do subscribe if you'd like to see some more bullet journal stuff from me, because there will be more coming soon. Thank you so much. I hope you're having a wonderful day and that all of your plants live long and prosper. Bye!